student support.
We're excited about learning. We're excited about seeing our kids grow.
The school year starts with a massive turnout of Irving volunteers. See how they help get students ready. Moving forward,
we really want them to feel like this is their place.
Demolition of the Lively Park pool is nearly complete. As the city elevates aquatics, we look at the future of the site. Full steam ahead.
Girls should be able to know that they're smart too.
Some young people get hands-on experience to show them career possibilities in science, engineering, and more. Plus, the event drawing an international focus to the convention center and how Irving is responding to West Nile virus. Now on City Source. Students are back in school for another year, and we will get an update on how things are starting out in Irving ISD. Hello and welcome to City Source. I'm Thomas Gandy. We will have an interview with the district rep in a few minutes, but we begin with a milestone in the reconstruction of a portion of MacArthur Boulevard. Our view from above shows crews paving the northbound lanes on MacArthur from Northgate Drive to Byron Nelson Way. That's a busy area near Tom Thumb and approaching the Las Colinas Resort. While there is still some work ahead in this portion, the progress you see here means the new concrete is now in place in both directions for Phase 1 of this project. And work is already underway on Phase 2, which runs from Medker Street to Northgate Drive. It is important to note that there will be road closures in the coming weeks that will have an impact on traffic. Drivers will want to watch for detour signs and slow down. Sign up for road construction updates at cityofirving.org/join so you can be notified. The entire project is expected to be complete by spring of 2025. This is the time of year it's important to take precautions to protect you and your family from mosquito bites. West Nile virus and other diseases can be spread through the bite of an infected mosquito. The City of Irving has a year-round mosquito control program, and Shane Diller is the City of Irving's Code Enforcement Director. He joins me now. Thanks for being here to talk about this important topic.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. And in addition to residents taking action for themselves, the city is also very active in mosquito control. Let's start with the trapping program. Walk me through what's involved with that.
Irving has a very aggressive mosquito trapping and testing program. We have the city divided into 60 zones, and we test those zones on a weekly basis using mosquito traps that our staff places out, collects, and then takes to a lab to see if the mosquitoes caught in those traps have West Nile virus, to see how many mosquitoes are caught, so that we can understand what areas of the city need more attention than others, and then target our response to those areas.
Yeah, and there have been a number of infected mosquitoes captured in traps across the city this year. How does the city decide when and where to spray?
When we have a positive test, a trap comes back and shows that there's a positive West Nile virus test in that trap, we have a targeted spraying of that zone. And so our staff will go out at night and they will spray a safe larvicide. It's safe to humans, safe to pets, but it prevents the mosquitoes from continuing to breed. And then we will then test that area again and make sure that the West Nile that we originally found is gone, and continue trapping and testing and spraying in that way until we get negative tests. So that way we have a focus on smaller areas instead of a blanket approach that may be less effective.
Yeah, and you mentioned it is safe for pets, which I know we get a lot of questions about. And we have been talking on this program about the steps in mosquito protection. We have those on the screen right now. Let's highlight a couple of them. Using mosquito repellent containing DEET. And a mistake I know your team sees a lot, having standing water. What impact can that have?
Standing water is one of the things we look for and try to fight against the most in regards to keeping mosquito breeding low and keeping everything safe. Standing water allows mosquito larvae to become full-grown mosquitoes and then to spread. So we ask people to make sure that they dump out buckets and they watch for areas that may be low on their property where after a rain or after watering, the water may stagnate and may stay standing, and clear that water out and let us know if they're seeing other areas that are not their responsibility that need attention, and we can notify the owners of those properties or even head in ourselves and treat the areas with the standing water so that there's not a mosquito breeding situation.
The city has a mosquito control hotline, and we'll put that number on the screen. When should someone call that number?
I would call that number anytime you feel as though there's standing water that's not being addressed, or you have questions about an excessive amount of mosquitoes in an area, or feel there's something that code enforcement or our vector control team need to look at.
Yeah, and let's talk time frame. Our guard's up now, but when do we generally see West Nile activity decline?
The West Nile season generally runs from about April until October. And so only in continued warm and continued wet weather would we see it extend beyond October.
Irving Code Enforcement Director Shane Diller, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Learn more on all of this and find spraying schedules at irvingfightsthebite.org. And as I mentioned, the city has a mosquito hotline. Here's that number again, 972-721-3755. The demolition of the decades-old pool at Lively Park is complete, and now the focus is on what's ahead for that space. Robert Sheik has the story as the city of Irving elevates aquatics and recreation.
This was it. This was what you saw a lot of the city's building, something similar to this in 1959.
When it opened in the 1950s, Lively Pool was ahead of its time. But 6 decades later, times have changed.
Nowadays, the standard has elevated quite a bit, and as many memories as we have at this facility, it just doesn't quite meet the mark anymore.
As part of Irving's plan to elevate aquatics and recreation, Lively Pool is being removed and replaced with a more modern amenity geared toward the current generation of teenagers.
What comes next here at Lively Point Youth Center is up to Irving teens to decide. The city is seeking input from young people to find out exactly what type of amenity they'd like to use.
We really want them to feel like this is their place. We want the teenagers in Irving to feel like here's a place where we can go and we can do many different things, but yet we're involved with it. We're part of the decision making. We're part of building something that our friends and us really want to be part of.
To provide input on the bold future of aquatics and recreation in Irving, visit cityofirving.org/playirving or email your thoughts to playirving@cityofirving.org. Robert Sheik for City Source.
On a related note, the city's current pools and aquatic centers will run a modified schedule through Labor Day, September 4th. Among the changes, both the Cimarron Family and West Irving Aquatic Centers will be open weekends from 1 until 7 p.m. Find the full schedule at cityofirving.org/aquatics. The start of the school year prompts this annual schedule modification. Here is something else to watch for as classes resume. Drivers will need to pay attention to active school zones and slow down. Irving police will be on patrol. Also, stop when you see the flashing lights on school buses. The only exception to that is if there is a median. Drivers on the opposite side of that median may proceed with caution. And that story begins our back to school coverage. A lot of people work to make sure students succeed from the very first day of the school year. Hundreds of volunteers and even more donors participate with the Irving Schools Foundation in Supplies for Success. And we were there to see how it all came together.
We need all the hands we can get.
These are the sounds of success that help set up Supplies for Success, the annual initiative of the Irving Schools Foundation to make sure students start the school year right.
This is our favorite time of year. We're getting back to school and we rely on the community to make this happen.
We're building backpacks and you're thinking about the students that are going to be going through the school year, how they're going to be impacted by receiving this backpack. It's a fun way to give back.
Over a 2-week period, volunteers filled about 6,000 backpacks, all to get ready for this. It's the distribution event at Irving High School.
I'm so excited. This year we're finally back in person. COVID threw us a curveball. We had to go to a drive-through scenario.
Good morning. How are you? This indoor walkthrough format means the return of the resource fair, where families learn what's available to them in the community, such as City of Irving recreation centers.
I'm like, you need to come, enjoy it. This is for y'all.
Oh, yeah! The Irving Fire Department offered photo ops and earlier helped collect some of the donated supplies.
Oh, it's wonderful. I mean, it's neat when you go into a fire station, you see a pile of supplies or backpacks. It's a neat feeling to see the citizens of Irving helping the families that need it.
Have you ever read Stella Diaz?
New this year, Irving ISD is offering free books to help families build home libraries.
Just like having that ownership and knowing that these books belong to them is really important. So being able to provide that for them is really special to us.
Across the street, the new home of the Police Athletic League was open for a preview. But the big deal of the day, those backpacks. Check out the mountain of them.
It's amazing as you go through here. You'll see volunteers that are in their teens and you'll see volunteers that are in their 90s.
Those volunteers work to keep the line stocked.
Have you set a record? How many backpacks can you carry at once?
10. I'm tired.
And even taking on excavation missions when needed. All to make sure kids get just
Captain Marvel?
the right
No?
one.
Who's your favorite?
You probably remember, backpacks are important, right?
Exactly. You got to be amongst the cool kids.
Families appreciate all of the effort.
It feels great and wonderful. I'm a single grandparent raising my grandson, and this is helping me a lot.
Pikachu?
No.
There we go. We got a winner.
And everyone we talked with believes the massive show of generosity by donors and volunteers says a lot about the city of Irving.
Every year, it is so overwhelming to us as an organization when we start seeing these numbers and when we hear the need. And the best part about it is that the city of Irving, all the residents step up, and we've never had to say no to a child.
It means the city is a community, right? There's a lot of cities that are just cities, but this is a community. It's amazing that our city comes together like this, but we realize how important education is and how important our young people are.
So they are able to send students on their way with full backpacks to start the school year, all because of supplies for success.
It's just the warm welcome we want them to have.
The Irving Independent School District is offering free breakfast and lunch to all Irving ISD students this year, regardless of ability to pay and without any special paperwork. That's just one headline coming from the district with the start of the new school year. Janine Porter is Chief of Communications and Strategic Initiatives, and she is here to talk all things Irving ISD. Thanks so much for being here at what I know is a busy time.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Of course. And first week in the books. Tell me what's new, what's different this year?
Yeah, so it has been a really good start to the school year. On first day visits, we were visiting campuses and said that it didn't even seem like a new school year. Students already had systems in place.
And earlier this year, voters approved several bond measures. There's a lot to talk about with all of those, but I want to focus on the new campuses, Barton Elementary, Farine Elementary, and Crockett Middle School. Let's talk time frame. When are we going to see some progress on those, and what will happen to students when one campus is being built and another one may have to shut down?
So this is a pride point for the district. For us to have passed 3 of 5 propositions, and this is the first time we've gone for a bond in 16 years. And so there's a lot of next steps, but the first next step, the major one, is our project design committees. And so each project, we have 6 projects going right now, will have a project design committee. It's comprised of several different layers of our school community. Parents, employees, citizens, even our students will be a part of it. And they're going to each meet with our architectural firms responsible for those projects and begin the work of reimagining what those learning spaces will look like. So all those things as far as like timeline, the switching of students out of those buildings, what I can tell you is that we've worked out a process and a system so that our students won't be displaced. Instruction will continue. There's space available at each of the campus sites that you listed where the construction can begin, the new construction, but learning will continue in those buildings. So we're excited to see that progress continue.
Let's talk hiring. We know it's a tight labor market. How has that impacted Irving ISD?
Sure. So our data right now is showing that our vacancies for the first weeks of school is lower than it's been for the past couple of years, actually. What we're seeing is no different than districts across the state. It's a struggle for certain positions, those specialty positions, CTE, special education, or some of those niche positions like HVAC or welding.
Earlier you talked motivation, and you have a theme this year that you're working with, Irving Reimagined. Tell me what that means and what's involved with that.
Yes, Irving ISD Reimagined. And so at its core, it's just us really taking the time to reflect, to identify areas of growth, and then work with our teams to develop systems and processes to address those identified areas of growth. then we're going to implement that plan and adjust. It's about continuous improvement and growth throughout the year.
As this first week is in the books, what are you most looking forward to this year, going forward?
So many things. Of course, the bond work and seeing that come to fruition, the reimagination of Irving ISD, but probably perhaps most importantly is our students. We have some phenomenal students and they never cease to amaze us, so triumphing with them and celebrating them as they matriculate throughout this school year.
Janine Porter with Irving ISD, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so thankful for the opportunity.
Of course. And you can see other updates from the district at irvingisd.net. Some students are starting the new year with the benefit of experience gained during the summer. It came during a program called Project Scientist.
It's where summer and science collide. These girls are steering robots down a hallway at Irving's Lady Bird Johnson Middle School. Just one of many fun activities with a purpose that are part of Project Scientist.
This has been so much fun, so awesome. If I wasn't here, I'd probably be a sad sack of potatoes.
Okay. Which one do we need?
Project Scientist is an education-based nonprofit. We serve girls in STEAM programming.
What a fun surprise!
STEAM stands for science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And this program is exclusively for girls.
So I'm going to show you an option.
Partners include the Irving Schools Foundation and CoreLogic.
We have noticed through kind of history that girls in STEM and STEAM sometimes feel like they can't do it. And so we really want to focus on giving the encouragement of you can do anything.
It's important because girls should rise up too, not just only boys. Because girls should be able to know that they're smart too.
Being among other girls makes me a lot more comfortable because whenever I'm with my brother and my dad, they're always making boy jokes.
It's been really fun getting to work with my classmates, so we got to do projects such as make a prosthetic hand.
Now when she grows older and you're like...
So it's adjustable.
The week-long experience culminates at Irving's CoreLogic campus.
The girls are holding a celebration. The girls show off all of the things that they've worked on throughout the week.
Help me understand what you guys did here.
They get to share it with their parents as well as CoreLogic employees, so they get to really show off their accomplishments.
The crown turned out super good. I know it's hard to print out some of those points.
Yeah.
Organizers believe the impact will stretch far beyond this week and may stir new career goals.
I have so many options. I have millions in my head. I don't know what I want to be anymore. I want to work at CoreLogic. I want to be someone who saves endangered species. I want to be so many things.
New potential enhanced or even discovered through a week in Project Scientist.
So we want to get more women into the field so that we can deepen the perspectives that are in the STEM field and really help to change the world.
And there is more to the work of Project Scientist. Nationwide, the nonprofit works to train thousands of elementary school teachers in math, gender, and racial equity teaching strategies. We have a couple of news items to pass along relating to DFW Airport. Some Irving residents may hear more air traffic because of a runway construction project. Crews will be working to rehabilitate the airport's primary east side departure runway. It handles about half of all of the airport's daily departures. During this time, airplane traffic will shift to other runways. That could cause increased noise for neighborhoods near Valley View Lane and West Walnut Hill Lane. The project is expected to wrap up by the middle of next year. Also at DFW, leaders gathered to break ground on the construction of a new electric central utility plant. The $234 million facility will provide sustainably powered heating and cooling capacity. It is expected to open in mid-2025, and this plant is part of the airport's commitment to achieve net zero carbon emissions by 2030. Irving City Hall welcomes some special international guests. Mayor Pro Tem Phil Riddle and City Manager Chris Hillman hosted representatives from the Democratic Republic of Congo and Angola. The guests learned about the business community in Irving. They also provided overviews of their economies and infrastructure projects. All of this was done to show goodwill and with the goal of potential business opportunities for Irving companies. The leaders were here for a two-day conference at the Irving Convention Center called The Awakening. Take a look.
This event is a platform that we created to connect all small business owners together.
key stakeholders coming from all over, from Texas, from all over the country, as well as outside of the country.
From Angola, more people from the regions of Eastern Africa, and even better, we have more Latinos and other cultures that actually get involved in this conversation.
Whether you want to know more about a specific culture and you have ideas that you want to flourish, that's why you should be here and bringing us to share our opinions, our thoughts on how we can improve the African continent.
Create a better and prosperous Africa. For me, that's something that really grabbed my attention.
There's great vendors. There's great networking opportunities. There are a ton of different people in here. Coming here, I would gain some insight, and I really did.
We wanted to bring this thing in this city because, first of all, it's close to the airport and it's in the center of, the Dallas Metroplex.
Amazing. It's my first time in Texas.
Seeing this venue, and I've never been to Irving, Texas. So seeing this city and seeing how nice it is, the community is the place that I feel like I want to stay.
Everything about this event is so amazing, and I'm happy to be here.
And here is what is coming soon to the Irving Convention Center. The original Sewing and Quilt Expo runs through August 19th. Also for the crafters, September 14th through 17th, it's the return of DFW Fiber Fest. On September 15th, it's the annual gala for Irving Cares. And September 24th, it's the Kinsey Expo. Find ticket prices and a full listing of public events at irvingconventioncenter.com/events. Movies on Main is returning to Heritage Park Friday nights this September. It is a chance to watch some classic movies on the big screen, and we have the lineup. September 1st, it's E.T. On the 8th, watch The Bad Guys. On September 15th, Super Mario Brothers is the movie. And the series wraps up on September 22nd with Vivo. Attendees are encouraged to bring a lawn chair or blanket. Food vendors will be there, and restaurants in the Heritage District will be open to welcome customers. Keep Irving Beautiful is inviting residents and groups to sign up for the 32nd annual Trash Bash. It will be on Saturday, September 23rd at T.W. Richardson Grove Park. KIB will provide supplies and lunch. And along with the cleanup, participants will have a chance to visit several exhibits and take on some fun activities. Learn more and sign up at cityofirving.org/KIB. Let's meet our pets of the week, and it is an especially good time to talk adoption because it's Clear the Shelters Month. So let's head out to the Animal Care Campus.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Oriana with Irving Animal Services. I'm the lead animal care technician down at the Irving Animal Care Campus, and we're here to talk about our pets of the week. First, we have Pinky. He's a Doberman mix. He's a very big puppy. He's very friendly and he loves other dogs. He's extremely active and loves to play a lot. He's really good with other dogs and you can almost put him with anyone. Next up, we have his shelter pal, Jigglypuff. This girl loves belly rubs, loves to play with her shelter pal Binky. They get along, we put them together so they can lounge around. She's more of a lazy girl, likes to be in your lap, but she's overall a great dog. So we'll be wrapping up Clear the Shelters so everyone is free. Come down to see if you can find a new friend for your family.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. The Animal Care Campus is located at 4140 Valley View Lane. Check out the websites you see on your screen for hours and to see more adoptable animals. September is National Preparedness Month. Irving's Office of Emergency Management will have some tips next time on City Source. Also, the Police Athletic League celebrates the grand opening of its new headquarters, and we're going to show you some of the features. Go inside a new restaurant with an unusual name and get the story behind why it is called Sickies. Those stories and much more next time on City Source. Remember, you can always email us your thoughts on our stories. The address is ictn@cityofirving.org. Also, find us on YouTube at youtube.com/thecityofirving. We are always adding new content, so it's a good idea to subscribe. And while you're there, hit that like button on the videos you watch and leave us some positive comments. And you can look for updates on events and initiatives across the major social media platforms at the City of Irving. And that's it for this edition of City Source. Thanks for watching, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time.